starting pair. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the USBC and our gold partners, Brunswick, Columbia 300, Ebonite, Hammer, Kegel, Roto Grip, and Storm, welcome to North Rock Lanes for the 2019 USBC Queens. This morning we have another exciting round of both the winners and contenders double elimination bracket. Each match will consist of 3 games total pins. Winner moves on, and 8 players will end their run at the Queen's Tiara. Ladies, your lanes are now coming on for 10 minutes of warm-up. to our bowling fans that flash photography and the signing of autographs is strictly prohibited during competition. And we kindly ask that you silence those cell phones to prevent any distractions to the athletes. This week, the field of play is that tiled area at the bottom of the stairs, and that belongs to the athletes and our athletes only. Please do not enter the field of play for any reason. As a reminder, BowlTV.com is the exclusive live stream home of the PWBA Tour, and we ask that you do not live stream from your personal devices. All right, bowling fans, pick out your favorite athlete this afternoon. Cheer her on. Ladies, your arrows are up. You have a full set of pins. How about a great send-off for the athletes on their quest to royalty at the 2019 USBC Queens? Good luck, ladies.
winners bracket match here on 29 and 30. It's our only match ongoing here in this quadrant of particular lanes, which included, of course, 27 and 28 for the longest time. 27 and 28, it might be a little while before we see some lanes or some action on that pair. Contenders brackets on 31 and 32. We know the fatal four-way, if you will. That match will be on 27 and 28. It'll be the last match of the day. But we got a long way to go before we get to that point. Nice shot there for Kovalova. Dasha versus Daphne Tan. Other winners bracket matches. Giselle Poss, the former student athlete, versus her former coach at Vanderbilt, Josie Barnes, on 25 and 26. Also in that quadrant of lanes, Esther Chia and Sin Lee Jane, and it is Esther out with the front five. So you got to present a little bit of a different feel for both players, bowling one another in a very meaningful situation after obviously they spend a lot of time together practicing, etc. Shannon Pluhowski is taking on Clara Guerrero on 19 and 20. And those are all of your winners bracket matches. Again, Kovalova, Tan, Poss, and Barnes on the left side of the bracket. Those winners will move on to face one another. Guerrero, Pulahowski, Sin Lee Jane, and Esther Chia. Those winners will move on to face one another. And then that would be one match from a guaranteed spot on television. In our contenders bracket, which we still have 5 rounds worth of contenders bracket matches. Tanya Raumemper and Sherry Tan. That's on 33 and 34. Caroline Lagrange and Almiguera on 31 and 32. Jennifer King and Verity Crawley down on 13 and 14. Shannon O'Keefe and Brandy Branca on 17 and 18. Jasmine Mason and Liz Colkin on 11 and 12. Maria Jose Rodriguez and Shalyn Zulkifli down on 35 and 36. Angie Ramirez, Perea, and Stephanie Johnson on 37 and 38. And Juliana Franco and Danielle McEwen on 39 and 40. She had the front 5. She left a 10 pin in frame number 6. Again, that is 23 and 24. At the moment, 16 players remain in the contenders bracket, 8 right now in the winners bracket. Daphne. Great shot there for Tan. And now a 3-bagger. Here it starts. Caroline Lagrange is going double spare 3-bagger versus Almy. As you know by now, certainly 3 games total pinfall. At 12:30, which is the next scheduled official round of competition to begin, that will be on the fresh. So there will be a re-oil break. are through 7 complete frames between Daphne Tan and Dasha Kovalova. And Tan with the early advantage. Important to keep in mind that they are now on the burn in regards to what the players are bowling on. So again, the next fresh session will happen at 12:30 approximately, or begin at 12:30. Kovalova, who has won 300 game today, was in the first game this morning in her match versus Brandy Branca. The 06 just lays on the 10. And that's a double for Kovalova, or striking the 8th, I beg your pardon. There's the double. Frames 8 and 9. Some very intriguing potential matchups. Again, just looking at the winner's bracket. This bracket could produce Josie Barnes opportunity to advance to a Queen's telecast. That could be the young upstart. Speaking of Giselle Poss, who shot the week's first 300 game in qualifying. And has been on television before at the 2017 St. Petersburg Clearwater Open. Josie, again, talked about it last night, making the show at the Queens in 2012. It's her first ever TV appearance. You could argue last year she was well on her way to TV before a miscue late allowed Liz Johnson to double in the 10th to defeat her in the match, and that pretty much was the difference for Josie last year. Other winner scenarios, again, Kovalova led a couple of rounds at the Queens last year. Daphne Tan looking to make her first TV appearance on the PWBA Tour circuit. The additional 5 members of Team Singapore all have made a show in PWBA competition. And Tan is looking to add her name to that list. Clara Gardetto versus Shannon Pluhowski. Shannon has won the event She's made plenty of telecasts and stepladder finals appearances since the relaunch of the tour, but has yet to cash in. Clara won a title back in 2016 at the Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship. She's made a couple of shows since that time as well, but would love to have her second major, especially again after what happened with her last year in the back injury. Going to be Sin Lee Jane, who would make a return appearance to a Queens telecast. It would be the first time since 2016. But someone in that match between teammates Esther Chia and Lee Jane Sin is going to shoot 266, or 260 plus, I should say. Now it's officially 266. But it's not Sin Lee Jane, it's Esther Chia. That's the lowest game for Sin Lee Jane in match play. She shot 214 out the gates. And for the first time, really, in match play, she trails. So we'll keep our eyes on the Sin Lee Jane match, along with Esther Chia. Boy, Dasha, again in a very favorable, very comfortable type atmosphere for her. Just only a matter of time. If you got yourself a souvenir program, and if you're coming to an event that is on the schedule in the future, I don't want to completely spoil it for you, but there is a cool story in there in regards to kind of 5 players under age 25. And it's kind of in addition to the Jordan Richard feature story that was written. Big shot there for Kovalova. Of course, Jay Rich, certainly under 25, 23. But looking at players under 25 who could still make that type of impact. A couple of players in the winners bracket were featured in that read. Giselle Poss, Dasha Kovalova, nice opening 215. Early 12-pin advantage for Daphne Tan. Most of the players in the building now who aren't bowling, kind of anxiously following their friends and being in the support system. Seen some just fans in general or family and friends just kind of sometimes you got to just get up and pace. And there's been a little bit of that going on in some of these matches as well. As we continue to advance players in the bracket, whittle the way down to what I think is one of the cooler matches. I think it's a mixed bag of what people may think about it, but I personally enjoy the 4 players for 3 spots. It's the ultimate drama buildup. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in on this Monday. Hope, I assume many of you might be at work. Maybe you got to work from home today. Maybe you took, wow. Go gadget pins. Incredible pin action there for Kovalova. But yeah, maybe you're working from home. Maybe you took the day off just to watch Bowl TV. No one's beating Deborah though with camping and watching Bowl TV. I don't know if you can top that on today's Monday here. Difference was 11 pins in the Poss-Barnes match after 1 game. Difference was 20 between Lagrange and Almiguera, with Caroline leading the way. Sherry Tan trailing Tanya Raumemper by about 30. Heading into game number 2. Open frame for Daphne Tan. A lot can happen, and we've seen it in a 3-game total pinfall match, but one thing is always clear that mismakeables certainly always come back to rear their ugly heads in some form or fashion, whether it's making you double at the end of a match. Something along those lines where those pins end up being the difference. Trouble here in back-to-back frames, the big 4. Now for Daphne Tan, Ashley Scott's checking in, watching from work. Lagrange with a 2-4-8-10, I believe that was. Pickup over on 32. And Barnes has started with the front 5 on 25 and 26. Phil Brylow checking in. Thanks, Phil. Hey, Dan. Been a long time. Hope all is well. Dasha already with a little bit of a different look here on this pair as opposed to 25 and 26. Again, she shot 300 on that pair game 1, but was playing a little further in than where she is currently. And this is the burn. She's moved back right with a different piece of equipment. Well, based on the 2 games that preceded, or that were after, excuse me, game 1, she did not have the best look. And now seems to have a very good command of the pocket. This pattern has played tricky, been tricky throughout, but it has yielded some high scores, and we've talked about them, we've seen it. Of course, the TV finals on CBS Sports Network tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. Josie Barnes going to kick the 10 out, and she has 6 in a row. Front 6 for Josie Barnes. Indeed, Dan. We'll see you in Fountain Valley. The next swing will begin May 30th in Northern California. Double-decker lanes in Rohnert Park, California. Then on to Golden Pin Lanes in Tucson, Arizona the following week. And then to Fountain Valley, California, and Fountain Bowl. And then the second major of the season, the U.S. Women's Open in Las Vegas. So if you're on the West Coast, please make your plans to be with us. If you're not on the West Coast and you won't be traveling there, we'll have you covered here on Bowl TV. Barnes with the front 7. We'll keep you updated. We can see Almi there to the right of your screen, missing a 10 pin in the 4th frame. Facing the 2-time Cubica AMF World Cup champion, Caroline Lagrange. Nice adjustment there, big double for Daphne Tan. But just watch Kovalova's demeanor. She's got an awesome personality too, by the way. So if you ever get a chance to actually have a conversation with her, I would encourage it. But very businesslike on the lane. She will give you the Dasha personality every now and then on the lanes too. Yeah, touch quick there and got it right. 2-4-5 for Kovalova. Danielle McEwen on a 6-bagger down on 39 and 40. Shannon O'Keefe and Brandy Branca. It's a really good match there. Battle of 2 collegiate coaches that are just separated by a few minutes and a few miles. Shannon at McKendree, Brandy at Maryville. Week 10 there for Barnes. The run ends at 7. Some anxious folks watching our matches here on the concourse. There's almost nothing like watching someone who, they obviously can't help per se. And you can just kind of see it in their face that they want to help really bad, but they cannot. High flush strike and a 3-bagger for 10. And the defending champion is still in the field. Shannon O'Keefe in the contenders bracket. Right now facing Brandy Branca. And make it 4 in a row for Daphne Tan. Some of the match scores for Daphne Tan. She opened up match play with a victory over Brittany Brown, 617 to 569. Then defeated Valerie Bercier, 692 to 480. Then 741 against Liz Culkin this morning. On the flip side of that, Kovalova, her day began, or her match play began with a win over Haley Richards, 647 to 582. Then a 1-pin victory. She had to double a 9 for the win, and she got exactly that to defeat Diana Zavyalova yesterday afternoon, 597 to 596. Then this morning again shooting 300 in game 1, but only shot 624, and that gives you the. I talked about how her look kind of went away. And I think you can understand what I'm saying if you weren't watching it earlier. Again, 624 to 539. And trouble. Big 4. Players know they all talked about how they really kind of take hold of the opportunity to bowl in the match play setting. Love bowling versus the opponent, the one-on-one scenario. Hi, Kathy. Rob always dropping in the scenarios. I like it. do agree with that premise. I believe that was from Kenneth. Certainly you hear players often talk about controlling their breathing. And that is all a part of that, certainly. So we're getting further and further into situations where a lot of these matches are going to come down to the 10th frame. We've already seen several in that scenario, and that's what should happen. .256 for Josie Barnes in game number 2. And a sizable advantage over Giselle Paul, 67 pins. Esther Chia went 266, 182. Just like that, Sinley Jane's going to be back in control. Mama Pay, good to see you. Travel safe. We will see you, I'm sure, at some point in the future. Just the third strike of this game for Almi. But right there with Caroline Lagrange. Should be a good match as we get to closer to game 3 there. Wrapped in for Dasha Kovalova. Course setup will begin this evening for television. At least some of the early portions of it. Mentioned North Rock's very grand history in regards to hosting events and TV shows. I appreciate Frank and Kathy DeSocio, as well as Brent Bowers. For their hospitality, professionalism, and the rumble in the jungle in the sky. But it's not happening. It's not happening today. It's all's going to be well. Pin advantage for Sin Lee Jane over Esther Chi on 23 and 24. Kovalova needs one here in the 10th. And she gets a nice hit. Of course, Kovalova originally from the Ukraine. Came over to the United States to compete collegiately at Wichita State. Did a very sizable international resume in regards to medals won, and certainly lots of experience and accolades collegiately. 3-time first team All-American. Actually won a bronze medal at the 2017 World Games in the singles event. Last year, Dosser went 1-2. She won 1 match, lost 2. After the strong start in qualifying and trying to keep the train moving here. Let's take a look at live scoring. And combos in the chat as always. Let's see what's going on here. Down on 11 and 12. Very close match. 4 pins, actually, between Liz Culkin and Jasmine Mason. Well, that one can go in either direction at this moment. 12 pins the difference between Verity Crawley and Jennifer King. O'Keefe with a 34 pin advantage over Brandy Brinka as they begin game 3. Just a 5-pin match heading into game 3 with Clara Guerrero and Shannon Pluhowski. All strikes on the board so far for Team Malaysia. Sin Lee Jane and Esther Chi. 7 strikes between them. And a 24-pin match. And Chia now with the front 4. Both players in that match with 4 in a row. That's on 23 and 24. You want to check that one out. 429 to 405. Daphne Tan leads Dasha Kovalova. Wow, front six for both Sinley Jane and Esther Chia. The winner of that match moves on to face either Clara Guerrero or Shannon Puhalski with a TV spot on the line. So the strike's certainly plentiful in that area because Giselle Post now with a 5-bagger after an early open. Trying to defeat former coach Josie Barnes. Front 7 for Esther Chia. This must be what the Malaysian practice looks like. Just going at it, obviously in training mode during those moments, but this is why they train, for exact moments like this. Front 7 for Sinley Jane. I couldn't tell, but the fist pump said it all from Sinley Jane. It sounded like maybe the 10-pin might have stood, but it did not. And 26, that one far from over as well. Although getting closer from a frames perspective, but Paul's giving it all she has. Jeez. And a 7-10 for Esther Chi in the 8th frame. All right, she gets one. That match was just a couple of pins to begin with. That could be the difference. Not a lot of strikes going on here on the high end. Boy, it's been really tough going for Almi. And another close match. And another shot that looked pretty good. Finds herself again in Splitsville, excuse me. This one's going to come down to the wire as well. Tan and Kovalova. Giselle Poss can punch out for 279 and get to 701. 3 out of 4 for Kovalova to start. Sinley Jane, by the way, front 9 on 23 and 24. Trips of 4. What Sinley Jane is doing really is a performance. In this match, she was challenged early, and Josie Barnes is going to advance to in the winners bracket, as is Sinley Jane. Kovalova trying to join them. Will it be Daphne Tan? Oh, 10 back. Mercy. Sinley Jane's low match play series is 747. 300 attempt. I see 7, it was maybe 6. She had to chuckle and smile at it. She leaves a 248 to shoot 297. But 769 for Sinley Jane, and defeats her teammate Esther Chia in the process. Esther came out and challenged her. Esther shot 266 in game 1. Lee Jane had 214, followed it with 258 as Chia lost some pins with 182 in game 2. Esther gave it all she had there. She started with the front 7, pocket 7-10 in the 8th, but she is not eliminated. Coach gets the best of the student, and Barnes and Poss. But a high-scoring match that could end up being 737 to 701. If Giselle punches for 279. All right, important for Giselle to remember to stay in it mentally, because she not eliminated, certainly at this point. But the road gets just a match or two longer. $737 to $680. Barnes defeats Poss. Kovalova with 4 out of 5. How about 5 out of 6? Yes. The patented leg kick out of there for Kovalova. Kovalova has begun game 3 at 6 out of 7. And is looking to send Daphne Tan to the contenders bracket. Oh, didn't hear it. Oh, wow. What a shot. Didn't hear it hit the lane. All you heard was 10 back. There it smashed the 1-3. Verity Crawley has defeated Jennifer King. And Crawley advances in the contenders bracket. Liz Culkin opens in the 9th frame. Jasmine Mason got a chance to perform in the 10th frame. Tan, 8th frame. Bang. Next round will begin at 12:30. We'll be bowling on the fresh. Almi still alive versus Caroline Lagrange. Here's Kovalova needing to win by 24. Oh, that's some shocker love right there. Able to kick the 9-pin forward. Clara Guerrero defeated Shannon Pluhowski 697 to 666. Again, Cinley Jane defeats her teammate Esther Chia 769 to 714. Danielle McEwen defeated Juliana Franco 735 to 626. That was a contenders bracket match. Shaolin Zulkifli. Well, talk about Team Malaysia. She's got the front 7. Against Maria Jose Rodriguez. That's on 35 and 36. Sherry Tan and Tanya Raumemper in a battle. Ninth frame, Kovalova. Bang. Clara Guerrero versus Sin Lee Jane. On the right side of the bracket, the winner will advance to the Queen's telecast. Well, they will either be the 1 or 2 seed. With another match to go to determine that, Josie Barnes will face either Dasha Kovalova or Daphne Tan in the winner's bracket semifinal. Good shot. Daphne Tan put all the pressure here on Kovalova if she can at minimum double, but if she strikes out, that would force Kovalova to get the first hit in the 10th frame. What a shot there from Tan. Daphne showing resolve. The mental attitude. The physical game is really always on display. Shaolin Zulkifli is going to advance in the contenders bracket and now looking for her second 300 of the event. Second shot, Daphne Tan. Big shot. Woohoo! Well, there it is. And Almi. Again, that double, or the 2 in the 10th, I should say, forces Kovalova to get the first strike in the 10th frame. This is a winner's bracket match. The winner here will move on to face Josie Barnes with a spot on TV on the line. Excellent. Back 7 for 239 to get to 668. That was her max, and she did just that. must strike situation for Kovalova here. If she does, she'll face Josie Barnes. A winner's bracket semi. And she will allow Caroline Lagrange in a very close match of her own with Almi Guerra to go first. She's bowling next door on 31 and 32. Must strike for Kovalova. Bang! Angie Ramirez and Stephanie Johnson locked in a tight battle on 37 and 38. Kovalova not in a hurry. She took the time that she felt was necessary to throw the best shot possible. And again, keeping in mind what's going on directly to the right of her. Second shot on the lane. Yep. Final shot for Kovalova. It's left, but it does not matter. She got the hit when she needed. Big exhale. 682 to 668. Dasha Kovalova. One match away from television. She will have her hands full with Josie Barnes. All right, next door on 31 and 32, Almi Guerra needs strike 8 spare, or she could go 9 out to win by 1. That's the first one. Then she gives it the old slap out 5 or 6 times. Only in the way that Almi can do it. Again, 31 and 32. 8 spare necessary.
Be there.
And that's enough. What a battle. 625 to 623. Dominican Republic defeats Canada right there. And I'm sure those two have probably met at some point internationally in international competition. To think, Almi, if you saw what she was able to do this morning, battering and leaving split after split after split on 29 and 30, continues to battle and keeps her Queens event alive. There is one match remaining. And it is Stephanie Johnson and Angie Ramirez. Steph is in the 10th frame. Field shot here for Steph coming up, but Angie will need 7 or better to win in the 10th and to think about where Ramirez has come from after watching her first match against Sin Lee Jane. It wasn't even about what Sin Lee was doing in regards to her great ball reaction and high scoring, but that Angie couldn't find any ball reaction at all. And now she has battled in this contenders bracket. Needs a double. So a double for Ramirez. The southpaw is up. It's on 37 and 38. Everyone watching. That's one. Angie talked to us about not being able to compete the way she wanted, but her job as a software engineer is great, and they allow her to take some time when necessary. She's got the week off here. Needs one more to continue her Queens tournament. It's on the lane. And it sounds like a 7-pin.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our 10:45 winner and contenders double elimination competition.
6:30 to 6:28. Stephanie Johnson
Coming up next, our next
advances.
round will start for score at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. we will
Our
hold
next
for
round
our
will
ladies.
begin at
Warm-up
1
will begin
p.m. At
12:50.
1 p.m. Again, next round will begin at 1 p.m. Okay, so just like the previous round, we're going to break. And we're actually going to make some changes and make some moves. We'll have some new featured pairs as well. So we will shut some things down. We'll leave a couple on, obviously, where we have matches. So don't be alarmed when you see something different on your featured lanes channel. We'll be making some moves throughout for the rest of the time here. So just to quickly update you on your bracket. In the winner's bracket, Dasha Kovalova will take on Josie Barnes. Clara Guerrero will take on Sin Lee Jane. And then we've got a ton of contenders matches. All I don't know who won. I know Verity has advanced. Shannon O'Keefe has advanced. Looks like Jasmine Mason has advanced. We just saw Almi advance. Raumemper will take on Verity Crawley. O'Keefe will take on Jasmine Mason. Almi will take on Shalyn Zulkifli. Stephanie Johnson and Danielle McEwen. The winner of that match will move on to face Daphne Tan. Giselle Poss awaits the winner of Almi Gerda and Shalyn Zulkifli. Shannon Puhowski awaits the winner of Shannon O'Keefe and Jasmine Mason. And Esther Chi awaits Tanya Raumemper and Verity Crawley. That'll do it for us for now. We'll be back with you at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For Jason Thomas, Aaron Smith, Curtis Von Kruger, Tennille Milligan, Kathy Waka, and Greg Morton's great staff here at North Rock Lane. Shout out to Doug Dukes of Kegel as well. We'll be back with you. The Queens, it continues on. It's getting better by the minute. My name is Emil Williams Jr. This has been a presentation of the 2019 USBC Queens. You watched it live and you watched it only on Bowl TV.